Check out all the great things we're going to be making in today's video. I can't wait to get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Laser Channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and in today's video I've got something new and innovative from the good folks over at 3D Longer. It's the Nano Pro. This is going to be a galvo type laser with a laser diode supply. The machine that I have is part of a combo that includes a rotary unit and a slide extension that more than doubles the work area of the machine. In this video, we're going to check out all those accessories and run projects on all of them. So sit back and let's have some fun checking out the Nano Pro. Everything was very well packaged and very well protected during the shipping process. Out on the table, I have all of the components out, and let's check some of them out in a little bit more detail. Here's a number of boxes, and they contain all of the cables, the accessories for the rotary, a toolbox with fasteners, some consumables, and what's really great is each of these boxes is clearly labeled with the contents. Here's the quick start guide for the Nano Pro, and when I flip through some of the pages, we see that everything is beautifully illustrated on these nice thick glossy pages with color. Right next to that is going to be the eye-friendly laser shroud with an exhaust fan on the back side. Next is the star of the show, and that is the galvo laser head, and this being the Nano Pro has a 12-watt laser diode module integrated into this head. And on the bottom, we have one of the largest lenses I've seen on a laser diode machine. This is called a field lens, and we're going to check out inside what's underneath this field lens to make a galvo laser so special. But before that, we're going to check out the back and see that this machine is going to hook up to all the accessories with a common USB-C cable. We're going to see that all of the ports are not only color-coded, but they also have an icon down below. Going back over to this field lens, I'm going to unscrew this very carefully. So this is just how thick that field lens is. So this is definitely something we want to keep clean and make sure that it's taken care of. Underneath the field lens, we're going to see that there's two mirrors inside, and there's going to be a little port down here. Maybe we can pick that up on the camera, and the laser diode is going to come through that port and bounce off of these two mirrors down to our work material. The advantage of this is these mirrors are very tiny and they can move very, very quickly, so the speeds that we can get out of this machine and the precision is truly amazing. And not to mention that with this nice high quality field lens, our spot diameter of our laser beam is going to be extremely small, giving us phenomenal amounts of detail. I also have the lift arm that the galvo head will be attaching to. Behind all of that is the base plate, so we'll be getting this together in just a minute. The rotary chuck has this huge, massive head. This head also pivots down and up to help get work material leveled to the galvo head. This will eventually be attached down to here, and to the other side is a support arm for doing stemware like wine glasses, and if I'm doing other things where I need a stopper, I have that built into the arm as well. And lastly, I have the slide extension. This is going to more than double the work area of the Nano Pro, going from 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters to a whopping 100 millimeters by 300 millimeters. From this point, all I have is some basic assembly, and I'll have my choice of following the included quick start manual, or if I'd rather watch some videos, 3D Longer has a whole video series specifically on putting each of the different components together. I'll be back in just a minute and we'll check out what the Nano Pro looks like all assembled. Here's the Nano Pro. We're going to get this fired up in just a few minutes. A nice view of the front. When we take a look at the base plate, we are going to see that this plate is removable. That way, if I need to engrave something like this table surface, I can pop that out, and now I have full access to my project material underneath the stand. Checking out the back of the main Galvo unit, we're going to see that we've got the color-coded USB cables correlate up to the color-coded marks on the main head unit, and of course, some icons underneath. The rotary unit is all attached, and this thing definitely looks pretty impressive. The chuck has a number of different attachments to go on, whether I'm doing wine glasses, pint glasses, even these finger extensions if I'm doing some small jewelry like some rings. And of course, a nice bubble level to make sure that the work material is leveled out against the Galvo head. Certainly the slide extension is a welcomed accessory, more than doubles the work area of the Nano Pro. Also included are a number of these nice composite clamps. These clamps can wedge in anywhere, any number of these different slots along the tool bed. Pretty neat, very innovative, and there's also some hold downs at the beginning and the end of the bed area. Hey, check this out. I wanted to show you this parts bin because I think it's really cool. The parts bin has all these different compartments in it, and it's labeled what the contents are in each bin, making the assembly of the machine and the accessories very simple and very easy. So far, I've been really impressed with everything with this Nano Pro. Just about ready to power this machine up and get it connected up to the computer, which is going to be a great segue into the different software packages compatible with the machine, starting out with the free laser gerbil software. There's also a free laser burn software, which honestly I'm not familiar with, so if you've used that, let myself and others know what type of software that is and what computer it's compatible by leaving a comment down below. This machine is also compatible with an app for your phone, and for today's video we're going to be using my favorite software, which is Lightburn. Now the Nano Pro, even though it is a Galvo type laser, doesn't use the $160 version of Lightburn software. It uses what we call the G-code version, which is the most inexpensive version, and last time I checked, I believe that is still $60 US. So if that covered, there's going to be one thing that I'm going to do before I power this up and connect it up to the computer, and that is this little USB drive, which I actually placed right in front of me. This has a TF card in it, and it has all of the device profiles for all of the different software packages that I just mentioned. 3D Longer programmed a lot of special features into this unit, into the accessories, and to make our transition into the software so much easier, they programmed all those special features into our software package by using their own device profile. And that's exactly what we'll be doing when we hop into Lightburn software. Time for what I think is one of the most exciting parts of a new machine, and that is connecting the computer up to the machine. Now, we'll see that on my machine, I did attach a red ribbon to the field lens because it's an easy mistake to forget that the lens is still on the machine and send a project out to it. And while the powerful 12-watt laser module in here will burn a hole through this lens cover, but not before it releases a lot of smoke and residue that is going to stick to that lens, causing damage, resulting in having to replace that lens. So a simple piece of ribbon is a great reminder to remove this before starting any project work. All right, let's jump into the computer, and the first thing I'm going to do is click on Devices, and I'm going to import my own device profile. And again, I copied all of the files from that USB drive onto my computer, making this really easy. I'll click on Software, and here's the Laser Nano. That is the device profile I'm looking for. I'll click Open, and I'll click OK. And there we go. There's the Nano Pro, and the Lightburn software is already connected up to the machine. The biggest thing that loading that device profile is going to do for us can be found under the Console tab. Inside here, they pre-programmed all these different buttons, starting off with switch back to carving or engraving mode for the Nano Pro machine, or switching over to the Rotary, the slide extension, or resetting or connecting to the Wi-Fi up to the machine. With all of this set up, we're now ready to start our very first project. For today's first sample project, I'm going to use some material that came with the machine. This is going to be bass plywood. I'll get that aligned in just a minute. Back inside Lightburn software, we'll see that I loaded in the channel logo along with the text that I typed within Lightburn software 3D Longer and Nano Pro. Now, a little tip for you is the standard practice on a Galvo type laser machine is to always have the artwork underneath, directly underneath the lens. So to do this, I highlighted all of my artwork, and I'm going to press the letter P on my keyboard, and that snaps it in the exact center. Pretty easy. Also included on the USB drive is a nice handy chart with some start settings for all different types of engraving and cutting. So I looked up the recommended settings for bass plywood, and we'll check that out right now. We'll see that I've got a speed of 6,500 millimeters per minute, power level of 60%, and the line per interval millimeter is 0.06, which equates to 423 lines per inch. This all looks good, and the only thing that I need to do from here is to attach the exhaust shroud, which is also the eye safety, and we're going to check out setting the focus of the laser. On the back side of the boom is an up button and a down button for electronically moving the Galvo head up and down. I'll move it up high enough that I can fit the eye safety and exhaust shroud in place. On top of the unit, there's a button that I'll push, and that is going to turn on two red dots that when I shift the Galvo head up and down, when they join up to one point, then I know that the laser is going to be in perfect focus. We're just about there, and that looks perfect. And I'll take the USB cable and plug that into the back, of course going to the green port. This all looks great, and for this first engraving, I'll put some nice background music on, and we'll watch a couple segments of the very first engraving off of this Nano Pro. A few minutes later, and the engraving is complete. Check out all of this clean, crisp detail. Next, let's continue the fun by connecting the rotary chuck up to the machine so that we can engrave a pint glass. I'll install the extension for the laser head, followed by placing the rotary chuck underneath the laser head. A quick connection with the USB rotary cable, and lastly, plugging in the color-coded cable into the back of the laser module. Now it's time to install the pint glass. We'll see that I've painted mine with some Testors spray chalk so that the glass will accept the engraving. I'll make sure that the top of the glass is perfectly level with the tilting chuck head. And now I can adjust the tailstock for additional support. There's going to be two things that I need to do before jumping back into Lightburn software. The first one is to set the focus of the laser down to my pint glass. For that, I'm going to use the included focusing stick. This is cut to the focus needed for the laser, so all I need to do is simply place it on top of my work material and make sure that the top of the measuring stick just touches the bottom outside edge of the focusing lens. I've got that, and we're ready for the second step, and that is to measure the diameter of the glass in the area that I'd like to do the engraving. And I've jotted that number down, and now we can head back into Lightburn software. I'm now ready to navigate over to the console tab, and I'm going to right-click on the Rotary extension, and this top line, I'm going to enter in the diameter of my workpiece, which is 80 millimeters. Once I have that, I'll click OK, and now I can left-click on Rotary extension, and it is going to load all the parameter files to run this rotary chuck with the diameter that I have entered in. One more thing that 3D Longer recommends is to click on Device Settings and change the height of the workspace from 100 to 480. I'll click OK. From here, I'll just position the graphic so it appears where I would want it on the glass, and I can frame that out. I have a run speed of 1500 millimeters per minute at a power of 100%. Line interval remains at 0.06 millimeters with a lines per inch at 423. I'm all set to hit the start button, and because I'm not running the eye-friendly shroud on this particular project, I will definitely be wearing the safety glasses that comes with the kit. I'll put on some background music and we'll watch a couple segments of this pint glass being engraved. The engraving's all complete. I'm going to wash the spray chalk off with some warm soapy water, and we'll check out what the completed engraving looks like. The engraving turned out perfect, and I love the way this looks. The slide extension installs very quickly. I'll just unplug the motor cable going up to the rotary chuck and place this off to the side. And I'll place the slide extension underneath the machine. And of course, I'll plug the USB accessory cable into the back of the slide extension, and I'm now ready to power the unit back on and head back into Lightburn software and start our next project. I can navigate over to the console tab and click on Switch to Slide Extension. Loads all the parameters to run this accessory. And next, I'll navigate back over to Device Settings, and I'm going to change the height from the 480 that we used for the rotary to 300 because this is going to be the work area of the slide extension. I'll get rid of this graphic and import a new graphic for this next project. I've loaded in the graphic. It is a playing card, a very large one, coming in at a width of 90 millimeters and a length or height of 143. I've already framed it out and everything looks good in this area. Once again, I don't have the eye-friendly laser shroud over, so I will be wearing some safety glasses, and off to the side I will have an exhaust or smoke extractor to get any of the fumes out of my work area. The last project is all complete, and continuing the trend with the Nano Pro, this project is also full of a lot of great detail. I had a lot of fun in today's video making all these projects on the Nano Pro. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help the laser channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect video content just like this with other great viewers just like you. Well, until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.